Happy single. I'm ready to mingle.
Nah. And I think you're really pretty, and I'd quite like to grab your number. Oh, okay.
Attractive guy approached me and said, you're beautiful, can I talk to you outside for a second? And that video has now reached almost 20 million views.
It's between me taking my phone and putting it in your face, where you're kind of aware that you're being filmed, versus meta glasses where you really think you're having a genuine conversation with somebody.
There's no shortage of examples online.
You're the prettiest girl in all Miami.
Some even linking to the high-tech glasses they're using.
Capture your unique perspective in an instant, straight from your glasses.
These Meta AI glasses are one of the most dystopian consumer tech products I've seen in my lifetime, and it seems no one's talking about it. I've watched a lot of review videos about them, and while some do make a point about certain negatives, it's often just a comment in passing.
Are you still listening?
No.
That's a little concerning, honestly.
But I'm fairly confident that the number one use of these by far is to use the built-in cameras to record POV videos.
She mentioned that she didn't even realize that I was filming half the time, and I think that's what makes these so much fun.
Maybe the biggest downside of this particular product, which is that it is meta. And that's not a disaster, but it also does mean you still will have the privacy questions of exactly what data is being collected and what they do with it.
Again, I don't feel comfortable wearing those.
Would you rather be talking to someone and see them check their phone or their smartwatch real quick, and it's kind of rude, but then they're over it? Or you're talking to someone who's maybe wearing some glasses like this, and every once in a while they just kind of glance down and to the right a little bit while they're talking to you, and it's subtle, but you don't know if they're actually paying attention to you or not. Something to think about.
Now, maybe they don't think it's within the scope of a tech review, as that's what a lot of these channels focus on. And to be fair, a lot of these are brand-sponsored videos, which I can understand because very few creators can depend on YouTube revenue alone. But it's my belief that if you're making recommendations to people if they should buy these AI glasses or not, we can't only talk about the positives. We need to have a conversation about how the glasses may impact the users, the people around them, and society and our humanity in general. Because tech these days, especially with AI, is having a huge impact on our day-to-day life. And this needs to be considered and discussed when reviewing and talking about these AI products. If not, we're just the gullible dumb sheep consumers, giving in to whatever product these tech companies put in front of us, without consideration for the potential harmful outcomes and the large-scale long-term societal and human impacts. That's what I want to talk about today. So let's get into it. Problem number 1, tools for predators. I want you to imagine a situation. A male child predator wants to film kids. These days, in many places in North America, he can put on a dress and a wig and walk into any female changing room. And now with these AI glasses, he could covertly record everything he sees, including women and children naked. Another situation is with children's playgrounds. If a man was sitting on a park bench very close to a children's playground with his phone out filming, the mothers would ask him what he was doing, if not immediately call the police. But now that same man can just be walking around, watching from a distance, recording everything he sees. There are so many potential situations like these, like men covertly filming in nightclubs, in bars, men and women filming in gyms, and in all the places where vulnerable populations like women and children tend to congregate, potentially surveilling their next victim. The top complaint cited in almost every Reddit thread is the ability to record people without their knowledge or consent. Obviously, this can all be done with a smartphone, but it's much harder to do covertly without drawing attention. Unlike phones where raising a device signals intent, these glasses allow seamless eye-level capture of faces, conversations, and environments. Personally, one of my biggest issues is that these AI glasses aren't immediately noticeable, unlike the Apple Vision Pro. And it's becoming increasingly hard to tell if someone is wearing them or not, as we've been programmed to see glasses on people's faces as normal. For example, if I order a couch and the delivery person comes in wearing Meta's AI glasses, they can stake out my house and send the footage to potential robbers to assess what type of valuables I have, where they are located, and what type of security is present. Never would I think to take a good look at his glasses, because all my focus is on my brand new couch. But now assessing if people are wearing these AI glasses is going to be increasingly important to protect our privacy, security, and that of our family. Smart glasses have come a long way since they were first introduced, with many companies like Meta partnering with Ray-Ban to design their AI glasses to look exactly like regular non-AI models. Other smart glasses also come in a variety of colors and styles, so they are very hard to detect, especially from a distance. Another issue is that it's very easy to hide the light that turns on when the user is recording with a simple piece of tape. Furthermore, users can automatically upload video and live stream videos to their IG or other social media platforms. So once the video is uploaded, it's almost impossible to erase. You can delete things, but that doesn't mean it wasn't copied and saved in some other location for future viewing and sharing. All to say, you have to be very familiar with all these AI glasses and really get a good look at someone's face to know if they might be recording you. And even then, it can be very difficult. Personally, if I see someone wearing these AI glasses, I will go out of my way to avoid them. I don't want them approaching me or talking to me, especially if I'm with my children, because I have no idea what their intentions are, if they're recording or not, and how those videos or photos might be used. These AI glasses make it way too easy to track people, capture photos or videos, which may be taken and used without your consent, and potentially, in worst case scenarios, lead to blackmail, harassment, losing your job, etc. Mark Zuckerberg claims that these AI glasses are great content creation tools. And in a world full of AI slop, do we really need more cheap content filmed from people's faces? If anything, I think we all crave real in-person human connection. And it seems these AI glasses only further remove us from reality. Problem number 2, data used against our consent and government surveillance. The question is, how much can we really trust these big tech companies to have us, the users' best interest as their number one priority? Personally, it's 0 for me. For example, Meta continues to claim its social media platforms do not have a negative effect on mental health, while its own internal research showed evidence to the contrary. Across the board, all these tech companies prioritize growth over safety. So is it really out of the realm of possibility that they would use the data from these AI glasses for their own benefit? For example, government sharing. There are so many parallels between these AI glasses and Ring doorbells. Initially, Ring doorbells seemed like a cheap way for homeowners to add a level of security to their homes. Well, we now know that police agencies have been able to access this footage without owners' knowledge or consent, and to a certain extent is still being done today. So why wouldn't this also be true for AI glasses? If users are within a certain proximity to a crime or situation, it wouldn't be crazy to think the government would want access to that footage. Why spend billions on surveillance tools and strategies when you can just have everyday people do the work for you? I remember when Ring doorbells started popping up in my old neighborhood. It felt so dystopian. Like I didn't want to go for walks or sit on my doorstep anymore. And now I don't even want to think about these AI glasses being worn by everybody on the street. It's mass surveillance where everybody's contributing and paying for it, and you cannot opt out. Another example is ad profiling. The internet runs on ads, and many of these AI smart glass companies, like Meta and Google, are basically ad revenue corporations. As they increasingly spend billions to build out their AI infrastructure, the more revenue they're going to need from these ads to cover their costs. So it's certainly possible that these AI glasses will be actively listening, watching, and monitoring users' behavior to create a better user profile for advertising. People already find it weird that they can have a conversation about an item, and then when they open social media, the first ad they see is about the item they were just discussing. So what happens, for example, if I'm wearing Meta's AI glasses while furniture shopping? I tell the salesperson I can't decide between the blue couch or the red couch, so I decide to sleep on it and come back in the morning. While at dinner that night, I tell my friends that I love the blue couch, but it's a little bit out of my price range. If it was $500 less, I would buy it. The next morning, I open social media and boom, the first ad I see is $500 off that beautiful blue couch. Crazy, right? Maybe it was a sign that it was meant to be. I don't know, but I decided to go buy it. The issue is that blue couch wasn't selling. They're about to offer a 50% discount to get rid of their inventory. But because of customer profiling, they sold a $3,000 couch for $2,500 instead of the 50% off $1,500 price tag. This AI pricing, or algorithmic pricing, which sets different prices for the same product for different people based on personal characteristics, behavior, and shopping habits, is not new, but risks getting a lot worse as these tools get better at profiling people. My final example is AI training. Many of these smart glass companies are in an AI arms race with one another and spending billions to be number one. So it's very possible that these smart glasses are all about training their AIs on our lives. They certainly will create an enormous amount of very valuable data. And as these AI systems run out of data to learn from, why not create glasses to feed this increasingly hungry, basically insatiable machine? These examples are just possibilities. But just because they aren't features today doesn't mean they won't be in the future. Companies can push silent updates to record everything, anytime, to anyone. They might promise you it's safe, but anything connected to the internet with a camera is never safe. All it takes is a change in leadership, which can change the rules and laws. And heck, sometimes the government and even corporations will do it illegally. If they want to do it, they will do it. And most often, we don't even hear about it. Problem number 3, distractions and safety risks. Distractions like pop-up notifications, hands-free recording, and AI queries appearing in people's field of vision while performing high-risk tasks is extremely dangerous. For example, back in 2013, a woman named Cecilia Abadi was pulled over for swerving and arrested for DUI. Officers discovered she was using Google Glass to review navigation directions, which they deemed a distraction. This is just one of the first in many instances of smart eyewear causing impaired driving. Some might argue that any smartwear that could affect your field of vision should be banned. After all, it's illegal to hold a smartphone while driving. But what about the hands-free version over your eyes? Ultimately, the issue is where is your focus and attention? I see this all the time, parents buried in their phones while their kids play in the distance. And when they finally look up, looking around, wondering where their kids are. So many accidents have occurred and so many lives have been lost due to a lack of awareness, focus, and attention caused by our smartphones. I can only imagine that smart glasses will have an exponential effect because few people will take their glasses off, especially if they need them to see. Perhaps some type of notification block can be implemented while driving, but that doesn't solve any of the distracted pedestrians or parents watching their children. Honestly, I'm somewhat at a loss to see how smart glasses won't lead to people being more distracted and potentially cause an immense number of horrible accidents. If you have thoughts on this, I would love to hear them in the comments below. Problem number 4, being hacked. Just like any internet-connected device, smart glasses can be hacked. Personally, this is absolutely terrifying to me because not only could hackers know where you are, but also be informed about your surrounding and environment. For example, who is in your house and what possessions you have and where do you keep them. Hackers can also get a view into your private life, seeing your children and loved ones in vulnerable situations to exploit and blackmail. There are so many instances of baby monitors being hacked, which is crazy because you would think they would be the safest thing in our homes, watching over the most precious thing in our lives. But it happens time and time again. So it seems probable that smart glasses, which get a point of view of every moment of our lives, would be prime targets for bad actors. Many people fear allowing robots into our homes for this exact reason, but it seems few are pointing out this same problem with smart glasses, which to me is so much worse because it's not only in your home, but everywhere you go. The last problem I want to talk about is number 5, mental health. In researching this video, I came across a new term called the right to unplug. And I thought that was really interesting because we now live in a time where many people around the world still don't have access to reliable internet. The argument here is that the internet should be accessible to everyone, basically as a human right. Versus in the US and Canada and many other developed countries, the argument is that we should have a right to disconnect and that we shouldn't be expected to be available and accessible 24/7. Personally, over the last few weeks and months, I've really tried to cut back on my screen time. I deleted Instagram off my phone and have my phone on silent, almost always, except for a few key people. I'll be honest, it feels really good. I'm so much more present with my kids and family, and this is coming from someone who wasn't really active on social media to begin with. As I try to grow this channel, that might have to change, but the point being is that I can't even imagine the mental disconnect that high users of social media have with reality. Long ago, Facebook promised to connect the world and bring us closer together. I think it's pretty obvious by now to say it didn't really work. And some might argue it basically had the opposite effect. We now feel more isolated, lonely and sad and alone because of our mass connectivity. And increasingly with these new AI glasses, the little time we do spend uninterrupted face-to-face with people is vanishing. There's always a screen between people, even in real life. We no longer have a shared human experience because what you see is not what I see. Are you looking at me or your notifications? Are you listening to what I'm saying or are you checking the weather for the next week? Do you even care about me or rather talk to your AI friend? Honestly, I'm really failing to see the value and true benefit of these smart glasses. It's eroding the last little piece of our real human interactions and shared experiences. That's what we need now more than ever, yet all these advances in consumer technology seem to be pushing us in the opposite direction, sucking us dry. It's really sad to watch, especially when we look at young people who seem to be increasingly burdened and forced into all this technology at such a young age, and will most definitely affect them for the rest of their lives. So for the conclusion, what's the take-home message from all of this? Well, if not obvious, I'm extremely pessimistic with regards to these new AI glasses, mostly due to their camera feature. Because personally, I see very little value for them, especially compared to their immense negative personal and societal impact. My hope is that they will get banned from schools, community centers, gyms, basically anywhere that's a public community space with vulnerable population groups like women and children. I also quickly want to touch on some positives because I do believe there are a few. For example, for people with disabilities to have more autonomy and be able to navigate through the world better. For creators doing DIY style videos to show their POV, for example, cooking, fixing cars, gardening. Obviously, there are already cameras out there for that, but the convenience and ease of putting on a pair of glasses and pressing record can be tempting. I can also see some beneficial use cases for sports, like cycling and running. Honestly, right before I finished writing the script for this video, I watched this YouTube video, and it really made me question if there's any hope. I don't know if Western countries like the US and Canada would go along with this, especially if you have people like myself, and I'm a tiny YouTuber, but I'm pushing back, I'm trying to, against AI tech products and these AI smart glasses. But it feels so minuscule compared to robots, police robots in the streets. It's overwhelming, it's insane. We are adopting AI so fast, and it seems no one's second guessing if this is a good thing or not. As a new mother, I worry about our kids' futures, and I definitely believe they deserve better than inheriting our dystopian mess. Anyways, that's it for me on this video. If you like the work that I do, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm get out to more people. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.